Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming out to remember Stephon Clark 1 year later. It's hard to believe that a year has passed since this tragic occurrence in Miss Aquita's backyard, what we have termed the execution of Stephon Clark. Today, you're going to hear from the Reverend Al Sharpton and myself, who will be speaking from the societal legacy that will be left for us to remember Stephon Clark, not only for Sacramento, but for all of America. The teachable moments that we should glean from this unnecessary, unconscionable, unjustifiable killing of yet another unarmed black man. But you will also hear from the people who knew Stephon Clark best, his family, his brother Stephon Clark, his grandmother Sequita, and his mother Sequette. I'm going to briefly address you all on the legal legacy that is to be taught from the unsenseless death of Stephon Clark initially. Then we're going to have Miss Sequita, his grandmother, speak to you. Then his mother will come next. Stephon Clark, Commissioner Stephon Clark will come next. And in conclusion, you will hear from our national civil rights leader, Reverend Al Sharpton. Also present with us is other families who have lost loved ones to police brutality. Most notably, Uncle Bobby, Oscar Grant's uncle, is also with us. You all remember Oscar Grant, who was killed in Oakland. Celine Tyndall's mom, and so many families, Reverend Al, who have been senselessly killed. So with that, I want to talk about, from the legal perspective, the legacy of Stephon Clark. Attorney Mark Harris and Larry Craig and I, we met yesterday night and early this morning talking about what is going on in California. And the troubling thing to us, Reverend Al, is not only is what is going on in California, Stephon, it's what's going on in America. When you think about, there seems to be district attorneys that believe there are two forms of justice in America. What do I mean? We saw firsthand from this district attorney in Sacramento, when a black person is accused of killing someone, they do everything in their power to justify charging them, locking them up, and throwing away the key. But when a police officer kills somebody unarmed in our community, they seem to do everything in their power to exonerate the police officer for being indicted for killing our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about unarmed people. We think in America, when you consider the Waffle House killer, young white man, confirmed killer of 4 people, run into the forest, the police follow him into the woods, and they all come out alive. You think about in Parkland, Florida, young white man killed 17 people, shot another 17. A confirmed mass murderer. The police follow him for hours. They take him alive. And then, Reverend Al, we remember in Charleston, South Carolina, young white man killed 9 of the most innocent people you will ever find in that church. The police not only follow him and take him alive, but then they take him to Burger King. But yet, when Stephon Clark is running in his grandmother's backyard unarmed, they shoot first. questions later. And just for the record, Stephon Clark didn't kill anybody.
That's right.
For the record. And so we have to deal with these two forms of justice that district attorneys all out of America, all across America, seem to impose. And our people see it firsthand. We see what happens. It doesn't matter what they say about equal justice and fairness. We see the results firsthand every time. And that's why we stand firmly with Assemblywoman Shirley Weber with Assembly Bill 392. What many have deemed the Stephon Clark law. Sequet, that proposed legislation speaks to trying to direct police officers to use deadly force only when necessary, versus this reasonable standard that seems to be always reasonable, to shoot unarmed people of color. And Stephante, we also want to encourage the California Assembly to strengthen Assembly Bill 1024, which states the law permits a grand jury to inquire into police-involved shootings. We want that to be changed to compel the district attorney to submit the circumstances of all involved police shootings to a grand jury. We're just asking for basic constitutional rights. Because at the end of the day, what we saw here in Sacramento was just unbelievable. Reverend Allen, I know we've done this for many years now, but I've never seen a district attorney try so desperately to justify an unjustifiable police shooting. I mean, we are used to them turn out the old playbook and assassinate the character of our children after they assassinated the person. But you all witnessed it firsthand. It was taken to a whole different level when she broke into the cell phone of Stephon Clark without permission of it from his family and tried to use that to justify them murdering him, even though they knew nothing about Stephon Clark this time last year when they executed him in his grandmother's backyard. And so it's so troubling on so many levels when you think of how they took this playbook to a whole different level, and this suggestion of suicide by cop. I mean, you all saw the video. They chased Stephon over 300 feet. If he was really trying to commit suicide by cop, he would have did it in the street. He would have charged at them in the street. But he chases them, they chase him 300 feet. He ran from them 300 feet to his grandmother's house, which suggests, if you use common sense, he wasn't trying to commit suicide by cop. He was trying to get home. He was scared. So if you believe, lastly, if you believe this narrative that the DA tries to offer, this asinine theory of suicide by cop, then all 8 bullets should be in his front. However, we know the majority of the bullets hit Stephon in his back. I mean, if he was trying to commit suicide by cop, he shouldn't have 6 bullets to the back. But you didn't hear the DA talk much about that because that doesn't fit the narrative. And so that's why we're here, to set the record straight, to set the legacy for Stephon Clark, and to make sure that everybody hear our voice, that we stand with the family of Stephon Clark today, tomorrow, and forever.